no matter how creative we are, and we're both creative people, no matter how creative we are, there's nothing new under the sun. We're not going to reinvent the concept of Santa, but capitalizing on all of that brand equity and then saying, well, we're not open during this time, but all these elves that are running around, what do you think Santa's elves do the rest of the year? Well, they help show appreciation for the... Yeah, they work for me. They work for me. They work for Steve Buzogany. That's right.
Exactly. Yes, I have them on contract.
That's right.
No, that's awesome.
Martians landed.
Yes.
Wearing Prada suits.
Yes.
Drinking Henry's seltzer.
Yes.
Chewing juicy fruit.
Yes, and?
Your branding here.
Yes, brand.
Your message here.
Yes, and?
A verse about
Yes.
your product here.
Yes.
I'm Hersh Rephun.
Yes, and?
I'm a message therapist.
Yes.
And I have a podcast.
Yes, brand.
That's right, that's it.
Yes.
We'll help you fix the world.
Yes.
Or your bottom line.
All right.
Your bottom line.
Get it. I get it. Welcome to the Yes Brand Podcast.
With me today is Steve Buzogany. Steve is the CEO and founder of Appreciation Advocate. If you're a customer of his, it's going to really help you take care of your clients and your customers. Prior to starting this, he sold over $100 million worth of real estate, and he did it working 3 to 4 days a week and taking a month or two off during the year. And so let's come into this with a little respect, because that is something that I have not been able to do. I don't think I've sold $100 million worth of real estate. I don't think that I've worked only 3 or 4 days a week, and I've definitely not taken off 2 months. So you're ahead of me on all 3 counts, Steve. Regardless, I like people on my show who are doing something that I haven't figured out yet how to do. So welcome to Yes Brand.
Oh, man, I'm super excited to be here. This is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to start with is give me the 1-floor elevator pitch on Appreciation Advocate.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So basically what we do is we are, for any kind of small business owner that's trying to show appreciation for their best people, like their A-plus clients, like their super best people, we do all of the appreciation for that small business owner, because it takes so much time to go out and buy gifts, to actually think about what to give people, then go out and buy them, then to personalize them, then to wrap them, then to ship them, then to write a personal note to go with them. We do all of that for the small business owner or the solopreneur who can't afford an assistant of paying $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. You just basically call us for less than $5,000 a year, and you got this whole thing taken care of, and we're completely invisible. Like, we don't put our branding on your gifts to your clients. So we're basically, like we were talking about a little bit before the show, Santa's elves do all the work and Santa gets all the credit. We're Santa's elves and you're Santa.
Well, okay, so how is that doable? So I would understand if you had someone on staff and paid them $35,000 or $40,000 a year, or even part-time, to do that, to handle that. How are you guys able to do it at such a cost-effective scale?
Yeah, so we do it. We have a lot of relationships with a lot of different vendors, and that we've built. So these relationships actually started in my real estate career, because I did this exact thing for my clients. I used to send my clients like custom engraved Cutco scissors, and they would get like custom Bose speakers and stuff like that. Anything that would have lasting power within their home. Because a lot of real estate agents, and I'm crapping on them a little bit just because I used to be one, and I know I can kind of talk to what they do. So, like, the typical real estate agent would go to a settlement. Congratulations on your first-time house. Here's a bottle of champagne. They're going to drink that, and it's gone. And which, in terms of a branding is all about impressions. Everything is about impressions. So when you give someone a gift that's food or a consumable, like a bottle of champagne, it's a fart in the wind gift. That's what I call it, because you get one impression out of 365 days a year, and you're forgotten. However, I give them Cutco scissors with their name engraved on it. They're going to thank me every time they use the scissors. That's like 365 impressions a year. So my impression, my brand is, and it's a high quality item. Cutco is no joke. That's a really nice company with a really nice product. So basically, to answer your question, how we do this is we really have to, and this is where the small business owner has to come into play, is we give them a homework assignment. Say like, okay, cool, we're hiring you, Steve, great. You come into our company. list your top 25 people. Now tell me a little bit about each one of them. Like, if you can't tell me about them, then they probably aren't your top 25, because you've got to know who your people are. Like, do you know their kids? Do you know their names, their kids' birthdays, their pets' birthdays, what kind of pets they have, what their hobbies are, what their interests are? Are they married? Are they divorced? Are they getting married? Are they having a baby? All of these things, you can go down a million different rabbit holes and come up with all kinds of cool gifts to do these things. And, like, I had a client once who, they were having a baby. He was a runner and she was he was a obsessive shoe guy and she was the runner. And so I went onto Etsy and I had a custom pair of Nike stitched shoes made for the baby. And they were both over the moon about it, because he's a shoe guy and she's a runner. So, of course, the baby wearing these cool Nikes that are specially knit just for their kid in their favorite colors, of course they were going to. And they told all their family members and friends, and I get all the referrals in the world, and it's a raving customer right there.
So are these all high-end gifts primarily?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try to keep it, I would say probably like $50 to $75 or higher per gift. But here's the thing. There's ways, in real estate, there's a guy named Brian Buffini. He teaches people how to do real estate at a very high level, and he's an exceptional coach, probably the best in all of North America. But I would say is he teaches people to do pop buys, where you pop by with a small gift for a client, which is great. But the gift is usually a low quality gift, like that he teaches people to give. It's like, like ketchup, mustard, and relish. Hey, whatever for the summer barbecues that you got going on, whatever. It's great. It's a consumable though. So I won't give a gift every month, because one, it dilutes the importance of the gift, because it's every month. It's like, okay, it's, whatever. But mine show up 2 to 4 times a year at random times. So you would think right now during the holidays, I'm a pretty busy guy. Not at all. We stop gifting from after Thanksgiving to the end of the year, because if you show up when everyone else does, then you're just another fish in the pond. So, But if you get a gift in the middle of February, or July 25th as opposed to December 25th, Christmas in July, you'll be the only one giving that person a gift, versus show up on December 25th when everyone else does.
Let's say that I wanted to give a really important client a gift, and I said, okay, I'm going to do it like July, or you recommend a certain time, and you would. How do you know what to say at that moment? Because if you're picking a random moment, it takes away at least the obvious thing, which I like, but it takes away that obvious thing of happy holidays, because it's not a holiday. So how do you approach that?
So it's a shock and awe factor there, which is what you want, because that shock and awe is what's going to make people remember you. Again, branding is entirely about impressions. And I'm writing a book called The Impression Scale right now. It's we'll deal with that another time. But basically, every impression has a different value. Obviously, first impressions are the biggest impression. They have more value. The more impressions someone has of you, the more accurate they're able to make judgment of you. So to answer your question, if you're trying to reach, we have different packages. So we have one package where you can hire us and we'll take care of your top 25 people for a whole year. Another package we have is called our door opener package. Basically, you can just, to get any door you want and all of networking open, like say you're trying to get a hold of someone, but you can't reach them, we have a package where you can say, hey, look, I need to get in touch with this guy. How do I get in touch with that guy? And we'll create an entire mind-blowing explosion type of package to get this person's attention. Now, that is more of a higher-end package because it's designed to blow one person's mind out of the water for an entire year. It's like a complete mind grenade package.
Well, what if it was something where you wanted to get a hold of somebody, but you couldn't get a hold of them, you couldn't get through to them, but it wasn't like they were going to be worth $1 million. It's just they're kind of a linchpin to something that you need.
So if you are trying to get to someone that you don't know yet, or trying to maybe become, get to that linchpin type person, then, but you're only getting kind of close, then hit what's kind of close. Hit the sphere around them. Hit up their assistant, gift their wife, gift their kids, whatever is close to that person, hit them up with whatever kind of thing you can give them. Now, I guess that's probably the wrong thing to say. Not whatever you can give them. Something that's nice, of high quality, not like a Pez dispenser. So, but get into those ears, specifically within the company. Like if you're trying to get to a CEO of a company, get to the assistant, get to the person at the front desk, get to the CFO if you can, the COO if you can, anybody who's in that close circle, hit them up with something, because it's going, and if you do it on a consistent basis, I wouldn't say like, it doesn't have to be monthly, but to you it's consistent, to them it's random. So whatever kind of plan you come up with, and that's one of the things we do with people, is we build the plan, and then they sign off on it, we do it. But like, that's what, you basically just come up with that whole plan there, and then we just execute it. And then eventually, you can't be ignored forever. That's basically the whole thing.
Persistence is a very important part of it, and knowing how to be persistent without being annoying. You've been doing Appreciation Advocate for 10 years now?
Yeah, I've been in the appreciation business. I've been in for, 2012? Yeah, so 2012. Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah, okay. And so how did you start to build that customer base? Like, what was the initial way that you promoted yourself, got the word out about your business when it was new?
So it actually kind of started with real estate. So I was taught real estate the way most real estate agents are taught, which is to spend 70% of our time when we first get our license, acting and cold calling and door knocking and doing all that stuff, which internally destroys my soul. It eats me alive, and I'm like, I can't do that, because like when you're on those calls, you have to talk your way into an appointment.
Yeah, you're selling. You're hard selling from the minute you're.
Yeah, and I'm not a hard seller guy, and I'm actually terrible at it, to be completely honest with you. Yeah. So I'm like, why? And it's more work. So for me, I'm like, where do I find the low hanging fruit that when I walk into the appointment, I'm basically already going to have the deal. So like, and then I met that guy, Brian Buffini, or I heard about him. I got his coaching programs, and he taught this business all about his whole coaching program is called the Referral Marketing Plan. And I got into that and learned his business that way. And I was like, wow, this guy is great. This is how I'm going to do my business. And then I just basically took what he taught and then just put it on steroids. And instead of doing the, popping by and seeing somebody, I'm going to leave you with, here's a tumbler that's custom made with your name on it, and it's made in your favorite color. And it's got a cool little logo on the side of it because I know you like camping, so I put a little tent on the side of it too. Like all kinds of, or something like that. Or a custom speaker, like I said, it's got their name engraved on the side of it, and it's in their favorite color, and they like to go camping and they like to do water sports, so it's a waterproof speaker. They can bring it on the boat with them, and it floats, and it's like all kinds of like stuff like that. So, yeah.
But your client has to feed you this info, right? They have to say, oh, he's a golfer, she loves cooking, she loves travel, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Right?
So in real estate, So in real estate, we spend a lot of time walking buyers around, and you get to know them and you get to meet them. And, buyers take a little bit more time to hit a home before a seller. Like a seller, you basically, you go into the house and you list the house, and that's basically as much contact as you have, other than, keeping them up to date. But with buyers, you go through 6, 7, 8, 12, 20 homes sometimes with these people. You really get to know them. So, and you get to talk to them and stuff like that. So you do learn those things. Now, for other types of businesses that are not real estate, that are not as hands-on, you as the small business owner need to come up with ways to get to know them. Or if there's a consultation call, maybe you do a client party. That was a big thing what I used to do. I used to do 2 a year, where we did client events where we brought them in, and to say, come in, let's get to know you more. I want to know everything about who you guys are and what you like, what to do, your taste, everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, so when you got it off the ground, where you were going to mostly people that you already had in your real estate business? Did you start by saying, okay, people in my business could definitely benefit from this?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, go ahead. Is there more questions?
I just wanted to get a sense of the scale of how many people it took in your group to be servicing clients. Like how many?
It's actually not as hard as you think, because it's we take everything up front. Like we do it like if you were a client of mine, you'd call me, I'd give you your homework assignment, you give me your list of 25 people, we're gonna put a little thing together, and once you sign off on it, we're gonna put everything in place. We're gonna basically buy all the gifts right away, and we're just gonna have it stored in our warehouse, and then you just, based on whatever the dates are that you assigned us in the plan, we're gonna hold it, and when it's time to get shipped, we ship it with the card inside. So like it's all front loaded. So to service one client may only take us depending on who it is and what they've got and how fast and responsive they are, it could only be less than 30 days. We'll take care of you for the whole year.
Right.
So like it's not as crazy. You don't need a massive team. We have like, I think we're at 6 people right now.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So,
Yeah.
So when you think about your brand, what would you say are like the top 3 signposts for your, core values for your brand?
Sure. Gratitude is obviously the big one.
Yeah.
I would say doing things a little bit differently. So I guess unique would be the other one. So you got to be unique. You got to use gratitude. And then also consistent. So because if you're not consistent in your behavior, then you're not going to be, then you're just a flash in the pan or a fart in the wind or whatever you want to call it. Right. So like you have to be consistent with it because consistency builds and displays your character. And that's when it goes back to that impression scale I was talking about with you. Like you have to give people more impressions of you so that they can come up with an accurate judgment of you. And the more impressions you give them, the more accurate they'll be. And you just want to make sure that the more positive impressions and positive, and that way they land on that positive side versus, oh, cool, one gift, great. Oh, you gave me a gift once 4 years ago.
Right, right. In other words, you're conditioning people to expect certain things from you. So if you treat them like garbage, then you're at least conditioning them that you're a jerk and you're going to treat people like garbage. And then they won't be surprised. They may not want to do business with you, but they won't be shocked.
Yeah, at least he's a consistent a-hole.
Yeah, if you get them a really, really nice gift one year and then the next year you get them a Starbucks, card, for $50, and then they're going to be like, well, wow, that's a dip from what they, so yeah, you're right. Now, where do you think you got these values from? This idea of appreciation and gratitude is clearly well ingrained in you.
Yeah. So
where did that start? Yeah.
So Brian Buffini is actually my big guy for that. So he actually taught me, he totally changed my whole mindset in real estate when he taught the principle of working by referral. And that was a big thing for me. And I was like, okay, focus on the relationship. Don't be transactional, be relational. That was like the big point for me. Like that was a huge change. He's a big mentor of mine. My Mount Rushmore of mentors would be like Brian Buffini, John Ruhlin, Steve Harvey, and like Dave Ramsey. So like Steve Harvey is a big guy on gratitude as well. And then John Ruhlin wrote the book Giftology, and he is big on this whole thing too. And he does a lot of similar things that our company does. He's just on a bigger scale. Like his ideal client's like a 7-figure earner. Mine's like a 6-figure earner. So like, and all of these guys all talk about gratitude all the time. So I'm just like, that's got to be a thing. Like, that's how it started. And I just got into it that way. I'm like, okay, gratitude. Now the whole point of the business though is gratitude's a business where you can't sell gratitude. That's the problem with it. Because you can't, it's a terrible branding thing. Right. So with gratitude, it's like, hey, look, a lot of people thinking of it as like this nebulous, airy-fairy karma. You give enough and eventually it'll come back. But there's no like calculated ROI with it. And that's what my company and I do. Now, here's the thing. The way we brand ourselves is we can't. Another mentor of mine, Gabrielle Boucher, she's fantastic. She told me, Steve, you got to give people what they want so you can give them what they need. Sell them what they want so you can give them what you need. And I was like, that's exactly right. So she's like, you can't sell gratitude. You got to sell referrals. You got to sell more income. You got to sell working with people you like. You got to sell more time off. Those are things people will buy. And that's what changed this whole thing for me. So that's basically what we do. Like all of our marketing is catered towards those things because those are all things small businesses want. But they also are all based on gratitude.
Well, everybody will say, I even say it on this show, about the bottom line. People do care about the bottom line.
Yes.
That's why they call it the bottom line. It's basically what everything comes down to. It doesn't negate gratitude. It doesn't negate good work, business ethics. What it basically says is, what at the end of the day am I left with when you put all these things together?
Yeah.
In terms of your scalability, I mean, do you feel like, is Appreciation Advocate something that you want to scale up and make bigger? And what does it look like when it gets bigger? Because it is a big idea, and it is one of those ideas that it's all about the execution, right? It's not like I could take your idea and go, oh, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna call it like Thankful Thankers, and I'm gonna start my own. I'm gonna start my own appreciation business. This is great. It's really all about what you do.
Yes.
But I have a similar thing with what I do as a consultant to brands. It's like it's not like I'm training an army of 20 other people to do this.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you envision for the future of the company?
I do have a very large vision for the company, actually. I think I want to do, I know I want to have, like, right now we have a smaller, like, warehouse type of situation going on where it's not like, I wouldn't even say it's a warehouse. I would say it's more like kind of like a small, like, almost like storage unit, because we don't have, the gifts go out pretty quick. So, like, we don't need a ton of space, but I want to have, like, a whole warehouse and production facility where we have almost like a mini Amazon kind of thing, where we're almost producing our own gifts and not have to outsource them anymore. That'd be kind of cool.
Right.
To be able to just build them right in-house, which I would really like to have an aspect of the business doing that. And then on top of that, I think, but here's the thing. In my mission statement, the very last part of the mission statement, it says that we seek to remain affordable so that we can forever unlock the potential of the small business owner of the world everywhere. So I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm charging $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 for just my consulting fees. And that doesn't even count where, you haven't even paid for the gifts and the shipping yet.
Right.
So, like, but I don't want to cost that much, because then I am just like every other gifting company on the market, where just to talk to them, they're a 5-figure number. And that basically KOs every small business owner out there, because when I was a new real estate agent, writing a check for any kind of money that was over like $3,000 or $4,000 was like a nightmare scenario for me. I was like, oh my God, this is so terrifying. Like, a lot of new businesses can't give on a level that corporate budgets, they can't compete with that. So, like, that's what we do. We'll help you do that. And we don't cost $25,000 to talk to. So that's the whole vision, is to basically expand in size, but I really don't want to change my price. Like, I really want to keep it like below $5,000, like forever, as far as I can, as long as I can, and hopefully inflation doesn't ruin me. But like I mean, the equivalent of $5,000 or below for as long as forever.
For as long as forever, for as long as you can, and work with more people, and serve more small business owners and more clients. Not I'm looking for the big ticket business that can afford $40,000 or $50,000, and then but what would you do at that point anyway? As far as you could price it where you're gifting, where it's a percentage of what the gift costs.
Well, we do some things like that, where some people will go a little bit more. They see, hey, Steve, we got way more clients than 25. We want to do this for. That's fine. And it's just $100 a client after 25 then.
Right.
Like, that's it. It's like, we're really, like what I'm saying, like, we're trying to be small business focused here. So, like, that's why, I'm not going to charge you like another $2,000 for every client you have, because like, then it basically, all right, say goodbye to your wallet, and you got no shot left.
Well, you're doing the best thing that a company can do, a brand can do, which is put the customer first and say, okay, I'm not trying to figure out a way to make X amount of money. I'm trying to figure out a thing that people need, and then cater it to what they need. The worst thing is something that someone needs that they can't afford. That's like that is
it. That is everything that I exist for, is what you just said. That is exactly it. I've spent 10 years in my real estate career doing this stuff, where I tried to find a company that could do this. And I'm like, I have to build this. Like what the hell? This takes forever. And then the other thing, it's just like, and then because so many small businesses, because you can't sell gratitude, you have to put a number to it eventually. So that the way we sell it is systemized gratitude marketing, but like, there's a number attached to it. It's 700x is the number. Like, for me, when I was, I'd say, when I was doing real estate a couple years back before the pandemic, I had a budget of $12,000 for the year, which is basically $1,000 a month. Which, for a small business, that's not totally crazy. But I ended up spending $10,500 for the year. Mm-hmm. The ROI I ended up with from those gratitude campaigns was $143,000. So that's a big ROI right there. So like, financially, it makes a ton of sense to do this, and I want to be. And that's why I try to stay affordable, because my mission here is not to make money off of one person. It's to make an impact on the way they do business, because the other thing is, they're not only going to do business, it's not only going to make their bottom line bigger, but it's going to make the overall experience for their customer better. So the end user, the consumer, is going to get a better use out of it too. So they're going to get a better experience, the small business owner is going to get more money, and then I'm just the invisible vehicle that they use.
Yeah, and this could work on any scale. And what if someone comes to you and they have like we were talking about, that potential client or potential customer that they can't get to, and they're like, look, I heard you guys do a great thing. I got to get, this is a whale, this person. This is like a huge thing, and I will pay for some idea that I think will work. It may take a lot more of your time. In other words, it may be like a bigger project. Is there a way to scale up for a big project? You just do it as it comes, like that kind of thing?
Well, yeah, it all depends on who the person is. It depends on how fast they want to get in touch with them. I also want to know how much they know about this person that they're trying to get a hold of. Like if I just said, hey, I want to go get in touch with Michael Jordan, I don't think I know about the guy is that he's a superstar basketball player, but and he's a billionaire. And that's it. I don't really know him, the person. So if you were going to try to get in touch with another CEO of some kind and you couldn't reach them, what can we do to get in touch with them? So we would come up with a campaign, and obviously you do your homework assignment, we bring it back to our office. Again, just like all the other stuff we do, we build out a plan for you, send it to you, you sign off on it, and then we go do it. That's it. And then, but it's all approved by you. So I think for us, it's not always such a huge project, but we don't want to make for that kind of project, for the 1 to 25 clients that we do, for your A+ clients, we don't usually do more than 4 gifts a year for that package. For each client, 4 gifts per client. For the door opener package, where you're trying to get someone's attention, we will do more than 4 gifts for that. We could do as much as 12 gifts for that, maybe once a month. That's super frequent, which I don't. It's not super. It becomes predictable though, so I don't recommend doing 12. But I'd probably say maybe somewhere between 6 to 8, where they're getting a gift every 2 months or something, or some kind of. It doesn't even have to be a gift. Sometimes we did this really cool thing once where we had a 3D printer print out a guy's foot going through a door, actually through the door, and the personal note attached was oh, my apologies, it looks like I've got my foot in your door, but while I'm here, and obviously, you there, and it's that got some attention. Dude, this is the most creative thing ever. This is so funny. It made me laugh. We've done messages in a bottle, which is kind of cool. Having it hanging in there, anything to get someone's attention other than just reaching out to them on email or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and just saying, hey man, trying to do this thing. I want your attention.
Well, also, what you have that helps is a little perspective where you have a little distance from the target, so to speak. You're not, if it's somebody's business and they're desperate to do this thing, or they're really, really worried about it, or it's not really their specialty, and they're trying to please the client, they could possibly overthink it, be a little desperate, be a little worried, be not care enough, care too much. You have that distance where you're about the assignment.
Yes.
There's no emotion of fear, fear of failure, fear of overdoing it, all those things. It's that's what's good about being a consultant or a server, a service industry or something like that. I was thinking that I love I keep going back to the Santa's Elves things. I sometimes before we go try to give the guest a little campaign concept just for you to just ruminate on. And the thing that I thought of now was what Santa's Elves do the rest of the year. You could actually advertise around the holidays, and it would be Appreciation Advocate, open January 5th or whatever it is, closed from, December 1st to, closed from Thanksgiving through January 2nd or whatever. And the idea is, what do you think they do the rest of the year? And then you're taking advantage of the holiday season, but you're also standing out from every single, Santa's Elves spot, Santa movie, Santa's thing. Everything, and people can't resist it. Santa's so ingrained, and there's no way to avoid Santa. But
can't avoid Big Red,
right? You can't do it. You can't avoid it.
Yeah,
you can't avoid it. Well, and no matter how creative we are, and we're both creative people, no matter how creative we are, there's nothing new under the sun. We're not going to reinvent the concept of Santa, but capitalizing on all of that brand equity. And then saying, well, we're not open during this time, but all these elves that are running around, what do you think Santa's Elves do the rest of the year? Well, they help show appreciation for the. Yeah, they work for me. They work for me. They work for Steve Buzogany.
That's right. Exactly. Yes, I have them on contract.
That's right.
No, that's awesome.
Well, so take us out as we wrap this up with any points you want to make and share with the audience. These are all business owners themselves, creative thinkers, people that are looking to win new business and win new customers, and they care a lot about loyalty. They care a lot about customer loyalty, things like that. So maybe give them something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say there's 3 major problems with gift giving that your clients can take from this call. And I want them to know what the problems are so they don't commit the problem. So the first big problem is that most client appreciation, these gifts, events, swag, they only make one impression, as we talked about before. So you don't want to make just one impression. Nobody's going to pay. I mean, think about it. You don't want to pay $50 for one impression, right? You want to pay for more impressions. More impressions is better. The second big problem is when people do give that impression comes in as it's usually neutral or negative because it's a bad gift, which people give like when you think about it, like a gift card or a swag bag. So swags, SWAG, stands for stuff we all get, except it's a different S word.
Right.
So flowers are dead in a week. Food is eaten and gone. Bottle of champagne's drinking and gone. Branded items, they're promotions, they're not gifts. Just a thank you email gets trashed or forgotten about if it's even opened. So like those are the other things. Those are neutral or negative gifts. So, and then the third big problem here, and this is the one that really kind of kills all small businesses in terms of client appreciation, is the feedback loop of gift giving is a complete, total, massive lie. No one comes up to you after you give them a gift and says, "Yo, dude, your gift sucks. Take this crap back." Like no one's gonna say that. So they're always gonna say, "Oh my God, that's so nice. This is so great. Like, thank you." Turn around and re-gift it, or turn around and give it up to Goodwill or whatever. So the feedback loop is a lie. So that's why you have to know the science behind gift giving so that you can actually do it right, and that it actually lands right, and it stays there and makes the impressions that you want it to, because the impressions are what's going to get you paid in the future and what's going to get you those referrals in the future.
Alright.
If you liked the show,
Yes, and?
it worked for you,
Yes, then?
subscribe and leave a
Yes, friend.
5-star review.
Yes, friend.
Tell all your friends.
Yes, friend.
Get your branding here.
Yes, friend.
Get your branding here.
Yes, friend.
Did I make it clear?
Yes, friend.
Get your branding on
Yes.
before they're gone.
Yeah. Huh?